Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another reading out of the book of Joshua. Today we're going to be reading chapter 18, and this is going to be the division of the rest of the land. All right. So far we've been we've been reading about the promised land and how it was divided between the people. All right. So today we're going to be reading chapter 18. I'm so sorry I didn't do the introduction. My name is Deanna and I'm part of the Streetside Ministry team. And we are reading a chapter a day and uploading it to our social media platforms. And this is just to help share God's word, help to share his teachings across the globe. All right? So let's dive right on in. Chapter 18, verse 1. It says, "The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The country was brought under their control. But there were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Joshua said to the Israelites, 'How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, have given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I will send them out to make a survey of the land and to write a description of it according to the inheritance of each. Then they will return to me. You are to divide the land into 7 parts. Judah is to remain in its territory on the south, and the tribes of Joseph in their territories on the north. After you have written descriptions of the 7 parts of the land, bring them here to me, and I will cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, do not get a portion among you, because the priestly service of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it to them. As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua instructed them, 'Go and make a survey of the land and write the description of it. Then return to me, and I will cast the lots for you here at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord.' So the men left and went through the land. They wrote its description on a scroll, town by town, in 7 parts, and returned to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh. Joshua then cast lots for them in Shiloh in the presence of the Lord, and there he distributed the land to the Israelites according to their tribal divisions. Okay, so Shiloh means rest. Jesus gives us peace and rest when we seek him. All right. The 7 tribes who were delaying to receive their inheritance are like the persecutor. No, I'm sorry. Are like the procrastinators. I can't read my own writing. All right. Are like the procrastinators, right? Those who want to wait until the last minute to receive what the Lord has for them, or those that wait until the last minute to receive what the Lord has for them. So either which way, it's still bad, right? Don't be a procrastinator and wait until the last minute. It might be too late. All right. So this is the allotment for Benjamin, starting in verse 11. The first lot came up for the tribe of Benjamin according to the clans. Their allotted territory lay between the tribes of Judah and Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, past the northern slope of Jericho, headed west into the hill country, coming out of the wilderness and Beth Aven. From there, it crossed into the slope of Luz, that is Bethel, and went down to Adar, in the hill south of lower Beth Horon. From the hill facing Beth Horon on the south of the boundary, turned south along the western side and came out at Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, a town of the people of Judah. This was the western side. The southern side began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim on the west, and the boundary came out at the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. Sorry. The boundary went down to the foothill facing the valley of Ben Hanan, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down to Hanan Valley along the southern slope of the Jebusite city and so too in Rogel. It then curved north, went to Shemesh, continued to Gilead, which faces the pass of Adamim, and ran down to the stone of Bohan and Reuben. It continued to the northern slope of Beth Araba and down into Araba. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hagla and came out at the northern bay of the Dead Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan in the south. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan formed the boundary on the eastern side. These were the boundaries that marked out the inheritance of the clans of Benjamin on all sides. The tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans, had the following towns: Jericho, Beth, Hagla, Emek Keziz, Beth Araba, Zeriam, Bethel, Aviv, Para, Orpha, Kephar Amani, Orphni, and Geba, 12 towns and their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Birath, Mizpah, Kephirah, Zoha, Remek, Irpil, Tadala, Zela, Heleph, and Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem. Gibeah and Kiriath, 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. All right, so that is the end of chapter 18. So, like I said, it's talking about don't wait until the last minute. All right, you have your procrastinators that think, oh well, I'll just wait until the last minute to give myself to the Lord. That last minute may not happen. You may not have that last minute. So don't wait until the end before you finally make your decision. All right. So have a blessed night, and I will be back with chapter 19.